when they are. Chip, thank you. 2 weeks to go and still no deal. President Obama and House Speaker John Boehner holding a private meeting Sunday to talk about fiscal cliff. No specific details about that meeting are being released tonight, but both sides released statements saying the lines of communication remain open. But Boehner has gone on the record saying there is no real progress.
When it comes to the fiscal cliff that's threatening our economy and threatening jobs, the White House has wasted another week.
We Democrats realize that there have to be two sides to this bargain, but we're not going to go back to what we did in 2011. We put both revenues and cuts on the table.
The president visited Michigan this afternoon, trying to rally public support for his plan. In Milwaukee, faith leaders, union workers, and some political activists are making their voices heard, taking a message to the offices of Wisconsin's U.S. senators. Fox 6's Mike Lowe has that story in tonight's Political Lowdown.
Taking it to the streets and marching through Milwaukee, a group of protesters talks about how to deal with the nation's debt and deficit worries as we approach the fiscal cliff.
We want the best for our families, we want the best for our communities, and we want the best for our nation.
More than 50 people concerned over potential cuts to the nation's social safety net demonstrate in front of the Milwaukee offices of Wisconsin's 2 U.S. senators.
No more cuts! This is not a partisan issue. We're visiting both Senator Cole and Senator Johnson and asking them to do the right thing for Wisconsin families.
And we have to come up with entitlement reform, no question about it, if we're going to reduce our deficit and our long-term debt.
Senator Cole told us he would only vote for a debt reduction deal that includes spending cuts and tax increases for the wealthy.
It's a balance thing. You know, we have to invest in education. We have to invest in infrastructure. We have to see to it that we not only take a short-term view, but a long-term view.
Meantime, Senator Johnson says the proposed tax increases will stifle economic growth. And he says the major entitlement programs need major reform.
We have got to reform Social Security and Medicare so we can save those programs. If we don't do anything with those programs, they will be bankrupt, and Americans won't be getting anything out of Social Security and Medicare.
He says he's skeptical that the president's idea to raise taxes on the wealthiest 2% of Americans will work.
It doesn't even come close to fixing the problem.
Among the protesters in Milwaukee was Edward Jude.
We out here trying to let our senators know that enough is enough.
He is a U.S. Marine veteran. He says he came to demonstrate on behalf of his daughter, who suffers from sickle cell anemia and relies on Medicaid.
And if they continue to cut, these programs, what am I supposed to do? Stand back and just watch my daughter die?
The deadline for lawmakers to reach a deal is the end of the year. Reporting in downtown Milwaukee, Mike Lowe, Fox 6 News.
All right, Mike, thank you.